We're in Richmond, broadcasting live, Redskins training camp. Very excited. I hate to make him wait. Josh Woodrum is with us, quarterback for the Washington Redskins. Saw you out there working today, but I'm so excited to have you on because I love the Alliance of American Football. It was fun to watch. I watched it every week. You were the quarterback for the Salt Lake Stallions, and you had plays that, like, I remember you making, and I saw you walk around like, damn, it's so cool that he's in Redskins camp, and I was such a fan of that. How much different was the football there? If you can give my listeners a thumbnail of what it was like when you kind of telling me during the break, it sounded like pandemonium when the league kind of went away. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, I mean, just from top down, I thought the league was great for everyone that was involved, as far as the trainers, the coaches. We had a lot of young coaches that were trying to make their way throughout their careers as like their starting point, and then all the head coaches were old heads that had been through their careers and were just trying to help coaches and players trying to ultimately get to their goals. But we had a bunch of great players on the team. A bunch of the teams were really good, and a lot of the players signed to NFL teams after the season. So. From my point of view, I think it was doing exactly what it was supposed to do, as far as give players like me another chance to play, get some more film, and then ultimately get that next shot to sign a contract with an NFL team.
And here you are in camp, and you're right. There's just literally dozens and dozens of players from that league where that took place. What's it like coming to Washington with the absolute pandemonium that happened at the quarterback position last year? Now you have a first-round pick. You got a guy that was, we were just talking about 1 year removed from the NFC Championship game, and Colt McCoy, who knows the system like the back of their hand. What's it like coming in and being part of that group?
Yeah, our whole group is just awesome. I mean, this is the most fun I've had in the NFL, as far as just being in the room,
really?
Interacting with the guys, because we just have so many guys that have played quarterback and have influences from the quarterback position, not just like an old school defensive coordinator who's now the quarterback's coach or something like that. Jay played quarterback, Kevin O'Connell played quarterback, Tim Rattay played quarterback. Cavanaugh played quarterback. All of us have played quarterback, so it's pretty cool to have that perspective from all these different guys. Bouncing ideas off, and it's not just like like most of the time I spend in the NFL has been with the Ravens, and they're a defensive mind. They have a defensive minded head coach with Harbaugh, and they're a defensive minded team, and it's pretty different being on a team where everything is more. Obviously we have a great defense, a great defensive coordinator, great scheme, all that stuff, but. Jay is offensive minded, so it's pretty refreshing for me.
How much, like, when you talk about the head coach, I mean, Jay's a quarterback whisperer, and working with him, and you see all the guys that have benefited. You see, Sean McVay, where he's at, and there's a lot of guys that work with him and then do really, really well in this league. What is it about him you think that makes him so good at working with your position, other than the fact that he played your position extensively?
Yeah, I think that ultimately has some background in, as far as playing. He can talk about things from his perspective. When he played, this is what he used to do on certain routes, instead of just a guy who never played the position is like, yeah, you need to do it like this, take a drop, this is how you need to do it. So from his perspective, you can he has some legitimacy from him saying stuff. And obviously he's the head coach and calls plays and all that stuff that goes into it, but. It's just great because I think he does a really great job of communicating what he wants and what he's thinking from the offensive standpoint to the quarterback. And from there, the quarterback can really grasp that and, take the reins and go with it. And as soon as you can get the offensive coordinator, Jay, in this case, who's our play caller, on page with the quarterback, the faster you can go into, knowing the scheme, understanding what he's trying to do, and you guys can just kind of go forward and play as fast as you can.
What type of a process is it for you to learn? We've heard this offense is very complex, and it's quite the process in learning it and undertaking it. What has that been like for you?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's very complex. I say that there's a lot of responsibility on the quarterback, though. I've been in some schemes and some systems where, I think this is my 7th NFL team, so I've seen a lot of different offenses at this point, and there are some other ones that I would say were more complex,
really?
Harder for me to really get a grasp on. I think this one's really quarterback friendly when it comes to the terminology and the plays and all that stuff, but he definitely expects us to have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders with getting us in the right play, getting us in the right protection, making sure we don't get hit, our line sliding to the right guy, and, that our receivers and everybody's in the right spot at the right time.
According to Redskins quarterback Josh Woodrum here on Chad Dukes versus the World, he, of course, out here practicing at Redskins training camp along with the rest of the fellas. Alex Smith, how much have you spoken with him?
Oh, a lot. He's in all of our meetings. He's out here at most practices, obviously, when he's not doing treatment and working on his leg. But I love Alex. Great guy. Awesome vet. I mean, he's doing a great job just being around for us, just having that veteran presence, being around. All of us in that room are guys. Obviously Case started a big portion when he was with the Vikings and obviously with the Broncos last year. But, Colts played a little bit, but Dwayne's never played a snap in the NFL as far as regular season, and I haven't either. I've only played, some extensive preseason games. So it's great to have that presence around and just, kind of hear his perspective on everything.
He's one of those guys, too, like, microphones go off. People are talking behind the scenes, especially in this business. You're aware of this. And people will say different things, and they say when they're – I've never heard anybody say a bad word about him. Like, not even approaching a bad word other than great influence, great teammate, somebody that you just want to have inside of a locker room. It's ubiquitous. That's the perception of Alex Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I first got here and, Alex wasn't around because he was still, having some issues with his leg, with the fixator thing.
What did you think of that injury as a quarterback? I mean, it was just unbelievable.
Well, I mean, it's definitely, not ideal for anyone, really. I mean, that's an injury that a lot of people don't come back from. Hopefully we'll be able to see Alex come back from it, get better and, be able to have some high function with his leg as far as being able to play football again. But, from him not being around early because he was still having some issues with his leg, I asked some people, what's Alex like? I haven't seen him yet. I'm really, interested in meeting him, talking to him and stuff. And, like you said, everyone, all they ever had to say was good things about him. There was never like, oh, well, everything's like, oh, he's great. You can't wait to get him back. Like, you're going to like him. He's great. He does this. He does that. He's awesome. So, yeah, Alex, A-plus guy for sure.
How much playing time are you expecting to get on Thursday versus how much would you like?
I mean,
whole game.
I'd love to play the whole game, but that's just not realistic. I mean, everyone's has their role on the team, and it's no secret that it's a three-man competition as far as who's going to be a starting quarterback, and I'm the fourth guy. So right now I'm just trying to find my role on the team. Whatever that is, whatever they need me to do. If they need me to go in and play the whole second half, that's awesome. If they need me to start a game, if they need me to only play the last series of the game, that's great. I really just want an opportunity to get on the field and showcase what I can do. And I think I've done a good job, learning the system and proving to the coaches that I can handle what they throw at me. And I think hopefully they trust me enough to put me in the game and give me an opportunity to show that.
It's a good group to be around, too, because they know that if there is an opportunity to play, you're familiar with the system and that you've worked in. I mean, there's still a lot of opportunity there. For you personally, when you're in a spot like this and it's like, all right, there's three quarterbacks here, but I can chop wood. I can do whatever I want. Mentally, what's that like? We're like, I can get film, I can do this, I can do that. You want to play. I mean, anybody that's gotten to your level, that's what you want. But being adult about it and pragmatic, easy for me to sit here and say that. What is it like being in this capacity and knowing that you can serve a couple of different interests here? But it's like, there's three quarterbacks, and it's going to be very difficult for me to leapfrog any of them.
Well, like I said, I'm just trying to find my role. Whenever I hit the field, whenever that is, if it's, if I don't play the first three games and I play the whole fourth game, that's awesome. Whatever the situation is, what coach decides to, when he decides to play me, if he decides to play me, I'm going to be ready. And I pride myself in just, being ready for when my time is. And, whenever that is, I know I'm going to be ready, and I'm looking forward to that. But it's just finding your role. Everyone has a role, and the big thing to having a successful football team, in my opinion, is when people embrace their role, whether they're a special teams player, whether they're the practice squad quarterback who's only going to be there in emergency situations, whether they're a starting quarterback who takes everything, whatever it is, as soon as everyone knows what their role is and, truly embraces it, I think you can have a better team right off the get-go.
Jay's character, Rob Ryan, Randy Jordan, Jim Tomsula. You're nuts, the people that are around here. Very entertaining. This is probably one of the more entertaining coaching staffs that we've ever interviewed or spoken to. Where does it rank for you?
It's definitely the best overall staff that I've been with as far as personalities. And, I mean, just knowledge, too. I mean, we have so many guys who had head coaching experience, coordinating experience, play calling experience. It's really fun. It's really, refreshing for me coming from Baltimore, like I said, from a defensive-minded organization that really doesn't focus on the offense, in my opinion, that much. It was more of a focus point on the defense. It's very refreshing coming to being a quarterback, coming to an offensive-minded organization.
Really appreciate you taking the time, man. Very interesting interview. Thank you so much. Stay healthy. I hope you play the whole game.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
That'd be great. Josh Woodrum, everybody, quarterback of your Washington Redskins.